Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
Welcome to the Application of Knowledge podcast. I am Animated Mel. We have Chris James here, and we have Stephen Michael in the building.
Your boy,
episode 119.
we out here clean.
Shining. Shining like the scary movie, bling bling.
Wow.
The Shining, y'all know about that?
Mm-hmm.
How did you know about that? I'm not a big fan of scary movies like that. But
So what do you talk, bro?
I mean, I just heard of it. It's like an older.
Oh, so you don't even know what it's about. You never even seen it.
Is it? What's his name?
I don't remember.
The dude who always makes the scary movies.
Stephen King or something.
Yeah, I think he made The Mist or something like that.
I'm not really a huge scary movie buff.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I want to start off with a question of the day, which is, what is your favorite television theme of all time? Think back to your childhood, growing up, or some of your favorite shows that you watch.
I'm talking about the intros.
Yeah, you got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I have no idea.
You got Martin. Mine would be, it'd probably be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And also, what's that, Saved by the Bell? You remember that? It's all right, because I'm saved by the bell.
Bro, this question is hard. I need some examples. There's so,
I just gave you some examples. You got, what's that, Family Matters? It's a rare tradition in this day and age.
Good intro.
Reading the good news on a newspaper plate. Then you got the Wayans Bros.
Bro,
y'all didn't watch TV?
Of course.
So which TV shows?
I don't. There are so many. I can't say what's my favorite because I'm gonna say one, and then you're gonna say something else, and I'm like, I like that one too.
Oh, hey. I mean, I like. The thing is, like, they all have very memorable moments.
Yeah, it was our childhood.
It could even be a cartoon, like Goof Troop.
It's those. I was thinking about that. Actually.
That's like father, like son. Hard.
I was thinking about DuckTales.
DuckTales was hard. Chippendale. Tailspin.
Oh, that's Tailspin.
Tailspin.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Tailspin was hard. What's his name? Darkwing Duck. Let's Get Dangerous.
I don't remember that. I don't remember how that goes, but I remember the show.
Darkwing Duck.
Gummy Bears.
Let's get dangerous.
There's like, bro, there's
Gummy Bears.
And I don't know if I'm just being
here and there and everywhere.
Wow.
We are the Gummy Bears. There you go.
I don't remember the Gummy Bears.
I don't either. I don't know how you pulled that one out of your hat. What?
It literally was before you were born.
There's so many maybe I'm biased because these were from our childhood, so these are core memories. Like things like this, you're just never gonna forget. But I just I feel like today, man, it ain't the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Power goes hard.
I never watched that.
The intro to Power.
I'm not saying that. Okay, well that's
Power. Yeah, I heard that was a pretty good one.
I'm not saying you're wrong. That's why I said maybe I'm biased. But I mean, we could probably run off, as Mel has probably run off 10, 15.
But what's like for
different
you, like
themes.
something that just stands out is something that, like, man, I really like this.
I just gave you. I just sang you one. This is the. I don't. This.
He's like, man, all right.
That was my answer.
Gumby.
That was my answer.
And you just went Gumby.
I mean, like you could look. I mean, G.I. Joe.
I never watched G.I. Joe.
Oh, that's right.
Did they have like a talking?
I mean, it was a song.
He could
Transformers. Transformers.
Still Gumby Bears?
Robots.
No, that's Gumby.
Oh, Gumby, the little
Gumby
Play-Doh thing, the little sticky thing.
Gumby and Gummy Bears. I used to rock with.
Bro, you got these old ones.
Because Chris is like 40.
Hey man, you ain't gonna be playing my man. Only I get to play my man. Yeah, but there's a lot, you know. I think all the cartoon ones I really like. You hear it, it just makes you run in like, oh shit, TV
Yeah.
show.
I mean, Dragon Ball was epic because it was
They had the guitar though.
yeah. I mean, Dragon Ball.
Fight the dragon.
Dragon Ball
Dragon,
Z had
dragon,
had a lot. I
Dragon
mean,
Ball
if I was
Z.
going to really choose one of all time, like if I'm just being honest, it's probably Dragon Ball. That probably gave me the most visceral reaction. If like hearing that, nigga, I used to get hype. It was crazy. Like
Yeah.
it was like a drug.
Yeah. Even though they didn't have like a, well, I guess it was simple. Guess that they didn't necessarily have too many words in their intros or whatever, but as soon as you hear it, man.
I mean, like back in the day, man. Like, let's be honest, right? And because I was saying that I mean, maybe I'm a little biased, but it's not just me being biased. Like, jingles were a thing. You had jingle writers.
Jingles are still a thing.
I mean,
Jamie
are
Foxx
they?
was a jingle
I mean,
writer.
I understand.
He did it on his show.
I understand that they do that because they want something that's catchy, but I like in that time it was a thing.
It's a science.
It's like you had who was it? Travis Scott did a jingle for McDonald's. That's a big deal. But that's early 2000s. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about now.
Isn't it still early 2000s?
I mean, we're in 2024.
But there's 100 years in this century.
Okay, if you want to base it off of the entire century, sure. I'm talking about from
I mean,
2000 to current.
I'm just saying, like, big picture is 100 years. We're only 24 in.
I'm saying early to
We're a quarter of the way
So
there.
would you say we're so you would
This is early 2000s
If you
for
would
sure.
say that, yeah, if you were having a conversation with somebody and you were just like, yeah, the early 2000s, do you think that they would assume that you're talking about last year?
No, because I would probably say
Okay,
last
thank
year.
you. So yes, while in the grand scheme of the actual time, we would be in early 2000s, but because it's the present moment, you would not use that word or that phrase in that way.
Here's the thing, though, because everybody always wants to know when they're in the good times, and
I'll tell you right now, we not.
yeah, we are.
I'm gonna say, you don't think we had a good times?
Yes, we are.
I think every day is a good
I mean,
We're in the good times right now. But if you extrapolate over the whole century, we got a lot of bad times we could have. It's pretty good right now. Fake pandemics. China's still buying up our land. They ain't got it all yet. Bill Gates is still working on his synthetic meat. It ain't everywhere yet.
so you're saying that
like we're right before
It's-
the tornado, the storm.
right. So this is the good time, even though
You can still get real meat now. You can still get real vegetables now.
That's true.
Are you saying that you think that there's going to be a time when we don't have access to that?
No, because the earth makes it readily, but there's going to be a time when you can't go to the grocery store and buy it. Or it'll be a premium product that you have to go to a specialty boutique store or something.
So you're saying that right now, I can get behind this. Right now, we're spoiled and we don't know it. Mm-hmm. The ability to go and get fresh produce, the ability to go buy stuff, the ability to have a high level of autonomy to do what we want to do and get what we want is available. As in let's say 30 years or whatever, mid 2000s, let's say, that it will be difficult or unless you're growing it yourself, almost impossible. Even the seeds that you will get will no longer be what are they
They're
called?
pushing more and more for seedless food, right?
Yeah.
So if you start to, bro, here's what you take for granted, not you, but like our generation. We know that all fruit has seeds because we grew up in a time when all fruit had seeds. Our children, unless we educate them to understand that, will not know that. Mm-hmm. So then they will become adults, 25, 30 years old, and not know that seeds are supposed to come in your fruit, which means that they're going to be like, how do we even grow food? They won't even know how to grow food because they won't know that seeds are supposed to come in food, or they won't have access to seeds.
You have people, you're correct. And it's already starting to happen, even with our young adults.
That's a scary thought.
Because you have people, even in our community, that I posted a picture of lemons and limes, and it was cut in half, and there were seeds in both of them. And then somebody was like, "You have seeds in your limes? I didn't know limes had seeds." And I'm just like, "Bro, what? Like, you didn't know that limes had seeds?" And now a lot of the lemons, most of your lemons you get are still seeded.
You still get a seed or two.
They're
limited though. You don't get a ton of seeds.
If you buy organic lemons, some of they're hit or miss, but they absolutely are now pushing seedless lemons. Like, they are absolutely readily available, and you start to see them more and more. But it's all happening slowly but surely.
It's easier for me to move this desk, than it is to move this seat, just because my leg hurts when I do that. So don't beat me up.
He literally injured himself and came up for a reason why he could scoot the desk to himself.
I just tried to do it, and I felt a little discomfort. So I was just like, I'd rather just bring it closer to me.
It's crazy because like everybody else figures it out without moving the desk.
I did figure it out. It's all good. But continue about your lemons and limes.
I was finished.
Just finished. What you got for us?
Go ahead, talk about Caitlyn.
Caitlyn.
Oh, that's not what I want to talk about her at
Not
all.
on
Do
it.
you want to talk about her?
Go ahead.
I have no desire to talk about anything related to.
You don't want to talk about Caitlyn this week?
I mean, we can, but I'm just saying.
I forgot what I wanted to say, so we can talk about something else that comes back.
Okay. All right. Hey, this, maybe y'all have seen this, maybe y'all didn't, but I figured this would be an interesting, fun topic. That's well, I actually have two, but I'll start with this one. Eboni K Williams. Y'all familiar with her, right?
No, no, it is.
Eboni K Williams. She is. I'll show you a picture of her, but she recently.
Is she bad?
She's cool, but she was that one who talked about that she needs, like, not a bus driver, but a person who owns the bus company or
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah, I
or whatever.
that.
So this was that person or whatever, but recently she is she's pregnant.
Okay.
Oh.
And this is Eboni K Williams. You probably seen her before.
Okay. Oh, she used to be bad when she was young. That's the girl that used to be bad when she was young.
I don't know.
And she still thinks she 10 or whatever. She was on Stephen A, right?
Was she with Stephen A?
She talks real stern.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, yeah.
She was bad when she was. I think we looked at a picture 10 years ago of her, and she was actually bad, but she's not that.
Yeah,
no
she
more.
used to
She's
be a
slower.
lawyer.
Now you're a single mom.
But she's pregnant, and
Is she married?
the hashtags for her pregnancy are #pregnancy, #motherhood, #SMBC. I don't know what that means.
Single mom.
Probably. #IVF, #solo mom, #black maternal health.
Now you're a single mom. Now you're a single mom.
SMBC, single mom, because, and then the next one says IVF.
Yeah, IVF.
They're back to back. So IVF is the.
Yeah, but that's not artificial insemination though.
It's a sperm bank. She got pregnant from a sperm.
No, in vitro is where she had to do in vitro and use someone else's sperm.
Yeah.
God!
So basically, she chose to be a single mom.
Yeah.
Wow. Shame on you.
So what are your thoughts about, I guess, women who want to do this?
Shame on you.
And to...
You are so discombobulated and so trifling that you couldn't figure out how to get with a man and do things half normal, to where now you've decided, because you're so selfish, you're going to bring a child into this world under your stewardship, who you couldn't even figure out the most basic thing as a woman, which is to be able to be a wife and a mother. You couldn't figure out the most basic thing, but you think that you have the right to bring a child in here and bring them into a single mother home where you have no structure. And now you're going to play the role of a man and a woman? You couldn't even be a woman right.
Go off.
No,
King.
seriously, like that. Shame on you. That's trifling as hell. Like you didn't even get it. If these hashtags are correct, if they're correct, and you really did get in vitro and go to a sperm bank to do this, you couldn't even lay down with the man.
Yeah, she has. I guess over the years she's been talking about relationships, and she's from that independent, masculine energy, and drives off men. So instead of figuring out or finding someone that she could have a family with, she said, "You know what? The pool out here for men is tough for her." So she decided.
Yeah, because men aren't idiots. That's why. Of course the pool is tough because we're not idiots. Who would want you? Who would want a woman with a mindset like that to do that? That is trifling. You're supposed to be single and alone. You're not supposed to bring a child into this world. That's the outcomes you get. You don't get to just do whatever you want because you have money. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hey, go off, King.
You're supposed to be single and alone.
I mean,
That's the outcomes. When you put a seed into the ground, you are going to bear the fruit of that seed. Her seed is, I want to be a career woman. I want to be tough and masculine. I want to be the leadership. I want to make a lot of money, and I want to outpace all of my male counterparts. And in addition to that, I don't see anybody who is suitable for me because he's got to worship the ground I walk on, make more money than me, be attractive, have good dick game, blah, 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 all these things that they want. So when you plant that seed, then guess what? You bear no fruit. Your fruit is not motherhood. It's none of that. You don't get it.
so in what circumstance would you say that this is okay?
Is what okay?
Like for her to get herself pregnant without a
In what
boyfriend, husband?
circumstance is it okay for a woman to get herself pregnant?
Yeah, with a
The
sperm
only
bank.
circumstance that I think really makes sense is when you have a husband, you're in a relationship, and you guys are struggling because you don't know a better way.
And you don't think that raising a child or a woman wanting to have a child since she hasn't been able to find a successful relationship is a good thing for just the child? Or is it just something that it's basically just playing into her ego? She's basically playing God in a sense where you forego the man and just bring in the seed because
She didn't forego the man. She went to a sperm bank. She doesn't even know the father. That's worse. You don't even know the father. You can't forego a man. That's bullshit. She's pretending to forego a man by saying, I went to this bank, but who put the sperm in the bank? A man. Who built the building? A man.
I wonder what race the baby is.
Who created the program? A man. So you're trying to forego a man. You used a man throughout the entire process. The worst part is you don't know who your baby's father is. So now your baby gets to grow up fatherless. That's the worst thing to do on purpose. You did it on purpose and you didn't have to. It's not like you had a husband and y'all couldn't get pregnant and you was trying and you know what I'm saying?
So she should have just got a dog.
She couldn't maintain a dog. She like, bro, like, look at what she's doing. Clearly she cannot maintain relationships. And also, she was very attractive, which means you got dealt a beautiful hand as a woman and you fumbled the bag.
Intelligent, smart. She's, she's a lawyer and things of that nature. Pretty. I thought she was always a fairly attractive woman.
You still think she's attractive?
Currently,
She's
no.
swollen as.
I mean, she's older and she's, she looks a lot
She
more
just looks unhealthy.
worn out. Yeah. And so, but there's a lot of people in the comments. Congratulations, mama.
Of course. I
Congratulations.
bet there's a lot of other single women in there.
Oh, there's one comment in here that says, single black mom. Of course, the next black gen is going to be so effed because of a fatherless culture. Shaking my head. Young women don't find it unreasonable to be cooperative with a man. It's God's design and the best outcome for children.
It's selfish.
Here's my take on this.
Crying.
I think at the end of the day we have the same opinion. I think that I look at it from the sense of kind of where that comment is coming from. This is what I was thinking about. I can understand, just go with me here. I can understand why someone in her position may do what she did. But this is what Kevin Samuels has always told us would happen, right? When you don't get along, when you are extremely masculine and you can't work with a man, you're going to end up being alone. Now, through science, it has given us the ability to now just get the sperm of a man and then go have a baby on your own, right? So you kind of forego the man in that way, or the relationship. But it's just like we just talked about when we were talking about seedless fruits and stuff. It's the exact same thing, right? It's not natural. And we understand that a GMO food that doesn't have seeds is not as good, and in some cases can be detrimental rather than having a seeded fruit or food of that nature, right? So it's the same thing. So in that same respect, while I understand why she would do that, because she wants to now have children, because now she's gone through her life and she's done everything that she wanted to do, she's accomplished everything she wants, and now I'm ready for motherhood, right? I understand it from that perspective. Do I agree with it? No, but I understand it. From my point of view, on my side as a man, this is obviously selfish. It's obviously detrimental. And it's detrimental because what it does is it perpetuates single motherhood. And all the statistics that you look up will show you why single motherhood is not good, right? Now, I understand that some single mothers are forced to be that way, right? Maybe you had to get away from an abusive relationship. Maybe you're a widow, right? Maybe you guys just literally couldn't work out and there was trauma on both sides and it just didn't work. I can understand that. But to intentionally put yourself in a single motherhood position, even if you have the finances to support the child on your own, finances is only one piece to raising a child, right? And having that man in the household to bring discipline that helps to protect the child, right? That helps to that if it's a daughter, right? The daughter her first male love is the father. And what we see even more now today is women growing up without fathers in the homes. And because they're growing up without fathers in the homes, it leads them now to go out looking for that same love that they should have got from their father in men. And then now puts them in position to put themselves out, to twerk on the internet, to show their butt, to all these things for attention. Now, I'm not saying that women didn't always want attention, but it's worse now than ever before. And I think that one of the reasons for that is because of the lack of fathers in the home. Now, we both, men and women, have both responsibility in this, right? So I'm not relieving men of their responsibility in this situation, because men play a really big role in why this is happening, as do women as well. But to put yourself in a position where your child has potentially higher risk for addiction, has a higher risk for being jailed, has a higher risk for crime, has a higher risk of having issues in school, right? You literally have a higher risk for everything from the child, whether it's male or female, growing up without a father. It's kind of ridiculous. So looking at it from just a logical standpoint, I would not intentionally put my child in that position. But at the same time, looking at it from her perspective as a woman, it lets us know that women inherently do want children. They do want to be mothers, right? And I think that in your later years, these are your most valuable years, because now you realize life is getting short. You're coming down the other side, and then now you really look and focus on the things that are most important. And what she finds to be most important now is going into motherhood. And it's just like, well, if you would have focused on this earlier, maybe you would have been able to get a successful relationship.
No. You wanted to focus on your career. You wanted to be a man, essentially. And so you got what you got. That's the way life works. You don't get to go back and rewrite history. You don't get to make different choices. So now you ruined your life, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The reason you're doing all this is because you ruined your life. That's why you're doing it. So now because you ruined your life, now you're going to ruin someone else's life.
Why you say she ruined her life?
Mel, look at the lengths that she's going to have a child. What do you mean? Why do I say that? She can't even get a man. She can't have a child. In a natural world, she would die and her whatever women don't really have lineage like that, but she wouldn't move. Like, that would be the end of it.
Well, it's not that she just can't get a man. She can get a man to have sex with her. She can't get a man that she wants.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think a lot of men would want to be with. I guess.
Wait, what do you like
physically?
Yeah,
a man will have sex with a hole in the ground. That means nothing.
Yeah.
That means absolutely nothing. And women think that's empowering. Like, well, I can get guys to sleep with me. A dude will literally sleep with the hole in the ground. Like, it doesn't matter.
If it's a warm, wet orifice.
Like, so women think that means something, and then they think because a man with some money or some influence to sleep with them, men with money and influence will also sleep with holes in the ground. Like, they don't care. So that means zero. If you can't get a man to actually want to be with you, want to take care of you, want to start a family with you, that's the only thing that matters. That's why Kevin said
big difference.
We value rings. Like,
why is there a culture of women who think like this though, or who are okay with settling for getting solo mommed, or being a solo mom, or having that?
She's a single mom.
A single mom, but even having that attitude of thinking about, you know what, she just had so much experiences with men. Is it she doesn't have any
part of the biggest thing is traumas that we create through our relationships. And when I say traumas, I'm not talking about like abuse, because sometimes people hear trauma and think of the most, it's the most, I got beat up in a relationship, right? Yeah, that is traumatic. But if I was sitting here and I picked up my mic and I was talking and I dropped my mic on my thumb, an inch off the ground, it's gonna hurt. Ooh, ouch, right? That's trauma. Whether it's little or whether it is big, right? If I cut my finger with a knife and it takes off my thumbnail, that's a much deeper trauma than if I drop the mic on my thumb, right? Abuse is like cutting your finger with a knife and the thumbnail comes off and it takes forever to heal. And then it may leave a scar and it may never actually come back the way that it was originally, right? That's like abuse. But then you have a lot of women that aren't necessarily going through that, but they're going through the ooh, I dropped the mic on my thumb, that type of trauma. And they don't actually take the time to actually go through and heal through that process. Now, when I say heal, because it is a word that is used so much, at least I'm sure you guys hear it all the time, right? But it's just like a lot of people don't really understand what that means. And healing doesn't just mean time, right? Some people think that healing means, oh, you just need time. No, healing also means you have to take accountability for that relationship. You have to actually look in the mirror and say, what did I do in the relationship that I could have done better? What did I do that potentially may have triggered him or to do something to me, right? And a lot of times you see women go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and it's just like, bro, how have y'all been in? This is your king. You've been in love 4 times this year. How is that humanly possible? I get in a relationship, and then if I'm in it for 6 months, whatever, I don't want to even see another girl for another 5 months, right? Whatever it is. Like you guys are just going from one person to the next with never actually healing, and that is one of the issues that we are experiencing. And then you take that trauma into the next relationship. So now my thumb hurts, and then I get into the relationship, and then now I'm blaming the next guy for my thumb hurting. Like, the guy is like, I didn't do anything to your thumb, right? That's how trauma works. And we don't see that happening. And for little things, you don't have to go to therapy. It really is about just having a conversation with somebody who has a logical mindset. And you can say, listen, this is what I went through, right? And then as you then start talking, the other person from an unemotional stance can say, you know what? Well, I understand that, but what did you do? I understand that, but maybe look at this from a different point of view. Well, then what was he feeling in this moment, right? If you can get a more well-rounded picture, then it allows you to then move past that hurt. And then after you move past that hurt, you can move into the new relationship open. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing them go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And they're just carrying everything with them. This is called baggage, right? It's all the same thing. So that's one of the biggest reasons, in my opinion, why I think that we're seeing this, because that trauma just gets pushed from the mother to the daughter, from our grandma to the mom, right? And it just keeps going down the line. And in our generation, you have our aunties, that 55, 60-year-old generation, who were seeing the men starting to leave the house, right? Because they were getting arrested, and you had the Democrats putting in the crime bill, and all this stuff was happening, right? And the men were leaving the house, and now women are just like, oh, good men. And then now they're being forced to be strong, independent women. But instead of them just taking care of business and then working to get over whatever it was, then they just tell their children, you don't need no man. You can do this on your own. And then now society has backed it up and given them all the opportunity to do so. And now they feel like, well, we don't even need men. So this is why we're in this situation.
I think a lot of women feel comfortable raising children by themselves is because a lot of examples that they've seen has been single parent households. And typically it'll be a single mom household or so. If you've been raised by a single mom and you've seen her being able to do it and you're not able to find a man, now you're comfortable with the idea of like, okay, my mom was able to do it and maybe we struggled a little bit, but now I'm better off, financially. So I won't necessarily deal with those same qualms that my mother had to deal with, since I'm more successful, even though it's single. But I think it's just a breeding ground for toxicity, simply because that's a skewed idea. It's literally going against what nature has provided for you. You're undercutting a man simply because society, as you just stated, has been set up to separate the man from the woman. And now seeing, a single mom raise a child has just become a norm, instead of thinking like, hey, you know what, maybe we should do this the right way. So I think they're obviously influenced by, they're giving into their womanly desires to have a child, but society is counteracting that womanly desire and setting it up for them and making them feel as if they don't need a man in order to have a family or in order to, structurally take care of a household. And society it's consistently going against them. And it kind of resonates with my next.
Oh, I want to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me give you an example to give the people an example of what we're talking about. Because let's say if you don't have children, or if you grew up in a household with two parents, right? Or maybe this is something you don't pay attention to because maybe the father of your children is not around or whatever it was, okay? So, and I'll try to make this quick.
No, you're fine.
So last week, I got a text message from my ex, and it was she basically said, we need to take our daughter's phone. My daughter's name is Emma. She said, we need to take Emma's phone. And I was just like, okay, why, right? So as we started to have conversation, she was just like, well, she has a boyfriend. And I was just like, well, I didn't even know that. And she's sending inappropriate messages to him. And I was like, okay, well, what was the message? So she was like, it's a screenshot. So she sends me the screenshot, and it was absolutely inappropriate. Like it looked like something that I would say to a woman, right? Like, bro, to my girlfriend, like, why is she saying this? Right. So then later she comes back, and I was like, hey, did you talk to her? And she was just like, not yet. And I said, okay. I said, well, before you have a conversation with her, I said, first of all, I said, let's talk to her before we start just taking her phone, before we start just jumping to conclusions. Let's have a conversation, find out what happened. She was supposed to hit me up, and then she decided that she wasn't going to. So she went about it on her own, right? But before she had a conversation, I said, well, maybe it's time to have that conversation about boys, the birds and the bees, yada yada yada. So she ends up having this conversation with her, and basically,
how old is she?
My daughter?
Yeah,
she's 10.
Okay.
But it's important because she started getting her period. So she's changing. Her body's changing. She's changing. So she ends up having this conversation with her, and she just was like, I just probably told her way too much. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, I started talking about, my experiences and my relationships and da 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 da. And I just was like, that's not what I told you to do. So, and she just was like, this girl she's probably afraid of sex now and this and that. And I'm like, girl, I told you just to have a conversation from mother to daughter about sex and what it is and what happens when you have it. And just a conversation, not tell her all of your traumas and all of this stuff. So anyway, come to find out, right? Because she was ready to take her phone. She hit me up. She's pissed. Like, she's pissed, right? Come to find out, the screenshot was not something that my daughter wrote. She was having a conversation with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend asked her, because Emma told her boyfriend, I'm uncomfortable. I'm talking to my friend right now. She's making me really uncomfortable. Her boyfriend said, why is she making you uncomfortable? Emma screenshotted the conversation from her friend, who's a girl, sent it to her boyfriend to be like, this is what is making me uncomfortable. And that is all her mom saw, was a screenshot. But she didn't ask any questions because she got so emotionally riled up, right? She didn't ask any questions. She just assumed that Emma was sending that to her boyfriend saying, I want to do this to you. And that's obviously not what happened at all. That didn't come out until the end of the conversation, which is not what I told her to even have a conversation about in the first place. Like, and I asked her, I said, why didn't you just ask questions? Why didn't you just say, what is this? Like, where did this come from? If you would have done that, then you would have gotten a completely different response, and you could have gone about this the right way. And she was like, well, I was so worked up, da da da. And it's just like, and it just goes to show, like, women are extremely emotional, and everyone knows that. It's a fact, right? There's no refuting that. Having a man, what this does is it allows the man to bring balance to the relationship between the parents and the child, right? Having that balance of, well, hold on a second. Let's take a step back, because if it wasn't for me, the first thing she would have done was she would have taken her phone. Right? Off rip. No, give me your phone. Yeah. And then my daughter, she would be sitting there like, wait, what? What did I do? Right? So obviously having that balance there gives the ability to kind of work off of each other. Right? So at the end of the day, I was just like, this isn't a situation where you take her phone. Like, you have a conversation. She's changing. She's 2024, right? She needs to understand what sex is and how it works and what are the consequences. It's a conversation. It's not a punishment situation. Yeah. And she was ready to go completely the opposite way. So balance, and that's one of the things that men bring. And if that was a household where there were no men, then she would have gotten in trouble. She would have been punished, because at that point in time, after she got punished, typically a parent is not going to then say, you know what, I was probably wrong, you can have your phone back. The pride would get in the way and just say, yeah, but you know what, you don't need your phone. You can take a few days off your phone, because you shouldn't have sent it anyway. You should have brought it to me. Yeah. So it's just one of those situations where balance is so important.
Nah, I think that was yeah. I'm getting frustrated thinking about it.
Man.
I'm like, bruh, have a conversation.
Have a conversation. You just fly off the handles and get emotional, and you hit me up, and I get all the anger and rage, right? Because she was like, I had to hit you up because if I would have said something to her, like, calm the fuck down, number one. First of all, hitting my phone like that at 7 o'clock in the morning, number one, okay? Calm down. Number two, Did you ask any questions? No, she just made me so mad seeing it. Like, bro.
Asking all the questions.
So it's just like things like it's little things like that. And what will happen is that if she would have gone the way that she intended to go, then her my daughter would then start to put up this wall between her and her mom, where she's like, I can't tell her anything.
Yeah.
I can't show her anything. So now what happens is that she now becomes sneaky, and then now she's doing things after school. She's hanging out with the boys. She's doing all these other things that she shouldn't be doing, and her mom has no idea, because now my daughter's hiding everything because of how you then went about it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to give them a space, and I said this to her. I said, you have to give her a space so that she knows it's safe to have conversation with you. You can't discipline her or punish her for honesty. Like, let her be honest with you. Otherwise, she's going to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just like, she has such a hard time understanding these concepts, but this is what a man helps bring a value, like something that some women may say, well, I could do that. Well, maybe you could, but statistics show you don't. And if you do, it's too late. The damage has been done. The mic has been dropped on the thumb already. It's already been done. What I did was I stopped the mic from falling on the thumb. I stopped it from happening. And then now we can say, hey, listen, be careful with that mic. You can drop it on your thumb. Right? That's what a man does. That's what a man brings.
Shout out to the daddies out there.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to the man, real man, holding it down out there. But that conversation, as far as like men and women, it kind of tied into something that I thought was a joke. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give this any credence. But there seems to be an overwhelmingly amount of women who seem to think that choosing a bear over a man is good, or it's better.
Let him have the bear.
The question that I saw that was posed that a lot of people seem to be talking about, the question is, would you rather be stuck in the forest with a man or a bear? And an overwhelmingly majority of women said bear.
This is just FYI. This is not a man you know. This is a stranger. Like he's just a random dude in the woods. So just to be clear.
Just a man, a random man, or a random bear. So I guess I'll turn it to my lovely host, my co-host, Chris.
Yeah, talk to Steven about it.
I just went on that whole. I'm trying to give you.
This is stupid. I don't have nothing to say on this. What is this? I don't know what this is.
Okay.
You never heard of this.
I heard something about would you choose a man or a bear, but this to me is the same as drizzle. I'm not taking this seriously. Like, I don't even understand the premise.
The whole thing is stupid. I don't know where it stemmed from or where it came from, but it's to me it stems from the Me Too movement. That's where I believe it stems from, because most of the women that I've heard talk about this, when talking about why, it always comes from, well, a bear's not gonna essay you, right? A bear's not gonna essay you, but a man would. And I'm just like, do you guys think that just men are out here just taking women like this? Like, I mean, your minds are so morphed that you just assume that a man is in the woods hiking and you're hiking and you automatically you're fearful of your life. You guys are stuck, but you'd rather see a bear than a man? Like, what? Like, what's wrong with y'all?
There must be some type of, I don't know. There must be some kind of type of perpetuation when it comes to, I guess, dogpiling on men in some form.
They love it. They love it.
I didn't understand it, and I thought it was a joke until people are actually giving definitive reasons of why. And then there were actually some men going through to statistics of saying dealing with men. It's so much trauma for women that they will, at least they know what the bear would do to them.
No, they maul them.
No, they don't.
The bear's going to maul them Because if we're talking about like y'all are around each other. It's not like you're in the woods or whatever and the bear is on the other side of the woods. They're close, and the bear's gonna get hungry eventually, or the bear's gonna be threatened by you because you don't know what the F you're doing, and you're gonna do something that's going to threaten him, and you're gonna get eaten. You know what I'm saying? The thing women don't understand about how the male genitalia works, because you're not men, is that most men, the vast majority of men, aren't going to be able to just take it from you. It's not going to be arousing to them. The only men that's arousing to are men that are messed up.
Right.
Psychopaths.
There's
Like-
something wrong with them.
There's something wrong with them. So they get aroused by the thought of taking it. That's not most men. That's not how our genitalia works. So even if we wanted to do it, if you're kicking and screaming and you don't want it, it's gonna go.
I couldn't even imagine.
Like, what is wrong with y'all? That's just basic. You're silly as hell. Like, women, I understand the drizzle thing, and it's a joke.
What
So
is
I
this
thought,
drizzle?
first of all, the fact that you don't know is ridiculous.
I don't know it either.
The fact that y'all don't know is ridiculous.
Nigga, what is it? What is drizzle? I've never even heard of that.
It is men pretending to act like women, talking about how it's soft guy era. Soft guy era.
Soft guy, like soft as in.
Soft girl era, soft guy era.
Okay, cool. We were talking about the man genitalia, then you said soft guy air. So I'm just making sure I understand.
No, we were talking about the genitalia. Then I said drizzle, which is something different.
I'm just.
And then
They were very close together. I'm just making sure I understand.
the point is,
It's not.
the point is,
I'm nigga pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get clarity. Make sure it's not you, it's me. I'm making sure I understand.
I'm not pissed about anything over here.
I know.
I thought it was like just on that same boat. Men are obviously trolling. It's obvious that men are trolling, you know? But when people start coming up for real reasons why they're picking the bear, it's not trolling anymore. It's like, no, this is literally how you think. And your mind is so toxic that you just see men as enemies and barbarians and whatever that are just out to. It's like, if men were really like that, you would have already got essayed. There's way more. There's plenty of opportunities to do that to women. Plenty. They're silly with how they interact in this world. They're very silly. If we were really savages, if we were really like that, if women are around by themselves all the time, you think you're safe because you're with a group of 3 women? 3 women can't beat a man.
You're gonna need more than 3 to
Like-
fight me.
I mean, let's say the Powerpuff Girls.
Nah,
Like
you
you think you're safe because you're with your girls? Y'all are all just as vulnerable.
Right.
If what you said was true, if the reality that you think exists really existed, by the way, all of your protection, the police, all the quote unquote heroes, the firefighters, everybody who's in a position of enforcement, they're all men, by the way. So once again, if men are these savage creatures that just want to essay everything, why would y'all would just be sex slaves?
It's so annoying. I mean, you're absolutely correct. Because it's just like, bro, I just don't understand. Like what the mindset is it genuinely, like, no shade. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy.
Logically, if you think about it, I mean, we could literally just break it down. If you think about it, a man, first off, my thought process was, why do we instantly go to the most vilest things that could happen between a man and a woman?
It's the most extreme.
When you meet a random person, because men and women, we see random men and random women daily that we don't interact with, and nothing happens. Nothing happens just on a regular basis when we meet random men or meet random women. Nothing happens. And granted, I do understand that women, they probably get catcalled more or approached more, or conversations initiated to them more by men, which is expected if they're trying to, attempt them. Or maybe there's women who's had those traumatic experiences where they say, you know how like guys be like, hey, shorty in the red, and they don't say nothing, and they be like, man, fuck you then, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, it happens.
So I guess to give them a little ground, I do understand that there are some men who are maybe they come off way too aggressive and they probably get scared, they're fearful and things of that nature. Not to say that the men caused that, but it's just the way that they perceive men to be, and they take it the wrong way. Or maybe they're putting their traumas on men.
Fear is not fact.
Yeah, they're putting their fears on the man who doesn't have any like ill intent or so.
I like that. Write that down.
And then the other logical sense is that what is the average size of a man compared to an average size of a bear? The average size of a bear would be roughly 400 pounds up to 1,200 pounds. The average size of just a man in general would be a little less than 200. You know, or it'll probably be
It's
around
like 180.
158.
Okay. But I mean, granted, typically men are stronger than women. But if you're in a situation that includes a bear, the minimum size you're getting is going to be triple or maybe even quadruple your size, depending on, you know, your height and size as a woman. So, and plus you don't know what a bear can do, what it's capable of. At least a man, if there came a situation where you had to defend yourself, you would have more of a chance to defend yourself against a man than you would have against a bear. And also the women who talk about, I would rather encounter a bear than a man, don't even encounter bears on a frequent basis to even have the idea of what it's like to be around a bear.
Most of them probably never even seen one.
They probably never even seen a bear. So you are going into this exact scenario with a loopy ass imagination, thinking that you would be safer with a bear than a man.
I'm choosing a man 10 times out of 10.
Any logical human being, regardless of any type of negative experience that you may have encountered with a man, if I've encountered situations with just another man or another woman, and those situations has caused me trauma where I feel uncomfortable, I feel completely unsafe. If someone was to ask me, would I rather be stuck in a forest with this person that's caused me trauma or a bear? Give me this person or man that caused some kind of trauma versus a bear where I know it's a wrap.
If you're correct. If you took in a vacuum, right? So so the woman's mentality naturally is to be submissive. Naturally, that's how they are, and they agree with other women. That's naturally what they do. Okay, they're followers, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You still have women. You have your own powers that a lot of you don't use. But if they've never heard of the bear situation, and if you took let's say a 400-pound brown bear, because brown bears are less aggressive, right? Black bears, polar bears, way more aggressive. But let's say you took a brown bear, 400 pounds, which is huge, and you were in a zoo, and you had an average size man, so 5'10", 165 pounds, 58, whatever it is, average size man. And if you ask a woman, if you were in the woods, would you rather encounter this man, or would you rather encounter this brown bear? And you can see them side by side. I can almost guarantee you there's absolutely no way that women are going to pick the bear.
Bro, bears are scary, man.
Bro, have you ever been to a zoo?
Bro, the bears are scary, man.
Like, even in the zoo, these bears are
malnourished.
They're well, that's not what I'm talking about. But you talking about the zoo bears?
The zoo bears, they're malnourished, but they're still bigger, scarier, stronger, and all of these things than an average man.
Yes, but I'm looking at it from the sense of at least that bears in the zoo have had contact with humans a lot.
Yeah.
Right? So they're used to seeing humans. They're used, they're not going to be as aggressive, right? But that's a bear in a zoo, in a vacuum, right? We're not talking about a bear in the woods who maybe has never seen a human, right? Somebody, you're in Yosemite and there's a bear there, right? Or you're in a national park and there's a bear. I'm sorry, but like what they're doing is they're using this as a way to try to just say, yeah, well, we would rather be with a bear than a man because we know a bear is not going to essay us. And it's just like, bro, like, do you guys, if you look at encounters, well, I don't even know the numbers because they'd be astronomically crazy. But if you look at somebody was like, oh yeah, well, if you look at bear attacks, it's only like 13 deaths a year or something like that. Well, I mean, if you were to match the amount of interactions between men and women, which is impossible to do, right, in a year, it would be in the trillion, bazillion, whatever number, right? Just that number versus the number of attacks on women versus men, and then you take that same statistic, right? So whatever the amount of for interactions with humans or women with bears in the woods per year, and then they were attacked. If you take that number and then you extrapolate it, you would most likely have more attacks on humans from bears in the woods than you have with human interactions between men and women on a daily basis, right? Because we interact so much, and most times things don't happen, right? But in the woods, things do happen. So obviously, you'd have to extrapolate that like something crazy, which I wouldn't even know how to do that and run those numbers. It's nothing that you could even run, right? If you even just look at that logically, you're going to have more attacks per interactions versus with bears than you would with men. I mean, it's just the most asinine thing.
Not to mention, by the way, women do men dirty far more often than men do women dirty.
In just a different way.
In a different way. Like if we were to actually include mental abuse and emotional abuse in this, this attack, because we're really only talking about physical attack. That's
right.
All anyone ever talks about. But we also agree that emotional abuse is worse than physical abuse. Even women will agree to that. If you include emotional abuse on this, women are far more vicious than men. Mm-hmm. It's not even funny. It's so irregular that no one's even you can't quantify it. But we all have experienced it. Like I, as a man, have never physically abused, harmed, or attacked a woman, but I have been verbally accosted. I have been emotionally attacked countless times by women. That's just me. I mean, most of my male friends and most of the men in my life have never physically assaulted a woman, but we've all been emotionally abused by women. So, but you don't hear us running around, well, we would rather run into a bear.
No, I'm good on the bear. I would not want to see a bear.
And a lot of times, women, they don't necessarily... They'll say something is SA when it's actually not,
right.
or it'll fluctuate. It's not a consistent thing or so. Like, granted, I know there's people out there who are actually victims of SA or some form of assault, and not to undermine that, but a lot of situations, there's exaggerations, there's misinterpretations of what actually happened, and the stories would differ between the male party and the woman party. And if those parties were to get together, because a lot of times, as you stated, they're acting on emotion. They're acting off of this emotion. And a lot of times they can't control themselves, or this feeling that they get, it makes this situation become something that it completely was not at all.
If you were out one night with a man, and you guys are out, you met him at the club, you guys are out drinking, yada, yada, yada. You're flirting with him, you guys are dancing, and then, he's like, hey, do you want to go get something to eat? I got some leftover pizza at the crib, and you're like, yeah, let's go, da 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 da. And then now you guys go back to the crib, and then you guys are still drinking, and then you start making out, and then he goes to make an additional move on you, and you're just like, oh, no, I'm not, I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, wait a minute, like, we were out all night, we were dancing, you was rubbing on my dick, da da da, all this stuff was happening, like, you here now, what's up, right? And he just keeps pushing a little bit, and then now you're like, I said no, right? I'm out of here, right? She leaves. A lot of times that in their head will be, oh no, he attempted to SA me, right? And that's not what that is. It's just like, well, look at it from a different perspective. And I'm not, because that happens a lot.
Oh, trust me.
That happens a lot.
I know.
Right? And then from the man's perspective, the whole time he's thinking, nah, man, this girl's coming home with me. She's cool with it. I got pizza. We're going to be drinking. We're making out. Everything is good, right? Naturally, the man is the one that's going to make the moves. Yeah. And women all the time will say no, but it's not that they don't want it. It's because their natural inclination is to say no because they don't want to feel like a whore. They don't want to feel like da-da-da, but they actually do want it, right? So men naturally are taught, and tell me if I'm lying, but we're naturally taught by other men, but also what we've experienced ourselves is to push past that first no. Like if they say no doesn't always actually mean no. No can also mean not yet. No could mean kiss me a little more. No could mean maybe I need to smoke, right? No, so like, oh, we hear that, but then so naturally, right? Women
say it too, by the way. You see it on TikTok and stuff. I broke up with my boyfriend and he just said, okay, have a nice life.
Yeah.
He didn't even try. He did. It's like it's the game. Everything's a game for them.
Women want to be pursued. So men naturally are pursuers. We are the spear, we're the tip. We move forward. That is what we do. And of course, if after a certain time, it's like, okay, well she really means no, right? But once again, as I said earlier, your fear is not facts. You may have in your mind now created this fear, oh, something is about to happen. That doesn't mean that is what was about to happen, and that doesn't not mean something happened. But what will happen is that then girl will then go tell her friends, girl, last night I went home with Jimmy, da-da-da, and I told him no, and he kept pushing, and the girls will be like, dang, yo, that happened to me, like, oh, he tried to grape you, like that, like, you know what I'm saying? And then now in their minds, now they're saying, oh, I was SA'd. Like,
why would you as a woman, if you knew you didn't want to have intercourse with that man, why would you as a woman get drunk, go back to his house and be making out with him? See, that's the problem with all of these situations. It's like there's no accountability on the women. Men obviously are the pursuers. That's the way society is set up. That's the way women want it. Women will not pursue you. That's why Bumble failed. And that's not even sexual pursuit. That's correct. Just saying hi.
Yeah.
Right? But you know all of these things because you're an adult woman in this world. You know all these things, and you're going to allow yourself to go in that situation knowing that there's a high likelihood he's going to make a move, and you're going to have to tell him no. Just say, no, I'm not going back to your spot.
Period.
Like where's the accountability? It takes two to tango. You know what I mean? This man didn't drug you or trick you into going back to his house or whatever the case is. You made a decision. So the thing about it for me is there needs to be accountability on both people. But I think what you're saying is correct. A lot of women will take things, and I've experienced this personally where, I dated a girl for a long duration of time. We had an experience, right? Then we stopped dating. And then when we recount that experience, it's two completely different experiences. It's like, you didn't support me, and you did and you said that, and you made me feel this way. And it's just like, that's not what happened at all. Mm-hmm. Literally. And when we were together, you didn't express that because you wanted to marry me. Mm. So if I was all of this and all of that and if everything you're saying is true, why would you want to marry someone like that? Mm. You've literally just constructed a complete false reality after we broke up to justify the breakup, to justify your pain, and to justify why we're not together. Oh, he was just a bad dude. And they create these alternate realities and they really believe it. This is why when we talked about the WNBA and all that, I said women are delusional. It's not just the WNBA thing where they're delusional. They're just they live in these fantasy worlds all the time.
And that's why men are important.
Even when you talk about the bear versus the man in the essay, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy world. Men aren't doing this. You're just making it up. It doesn't happen in real life. Like, why is your vagina so precious that it's worth me throwing my life away for? Because, by the way, if men are SAing women at this enormous rate where a woman's going to pick a bear over a man, that means men are SAing women all the time, right? Yeah. And we're just all getting away with it.
Everybody's getting away with it.
Everybody's getting away with it. No, none of the women are calling the police. Like, when I did see a woman call the police on a man, or even if it was her parents, even if it was consensual and her parents did it, that man went to jail every time. Or his reputation was absolutely ruined. So watching that, and we've seen it play out so many times in the media, especially, young college football star, maybe does have sex with this girl, but it was consensual, but then she says it wasn't for whatever reason, and he loses everything, right? Might even go to jail, then comes back 5 years later, gets out. Oh, I made it up. I'm sorry.
And there's no repercussions.
What man wants to go through that? Your vagina's not worth that. Vagina's out here everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Why would I risk my livelihood? It's like you meet a girl, she's like, you're not a serial killer. Are you a serial killer? Like, I have way more to lose than you do. Don't nobody want to lose their life over some random chick? What is wrong with y'all that you think that you are just so important that men, especially men of value, are willing to throw their lives away for you? That's stupid.
I would never. I particularly keep myself out of situations so that way that doesn't even happen. Like, that was something when I started dating again, I actively was thinking about that. Like, okay, let me make sure that I keep myself out of certain situations. Like, I'm only gonna, it was very rare that I would bring somebody back to the house or I would go to someone else's house. And because I don't even want this to potentially be a thing, because it's a thing today.
I'm cautious. I'm always cautious when a woman says she doesn't want to do something. I say, okay, we ain't gotta do it.
I'm not gonna talk you into anything.
I'll be like, yo, come on, girl, it's comfortable. What's crap? Yeah, I'm neat. She's like, yeah, no. I'm like, okay.
It's that natural first, like, well, no, it doesn't. It's so crazy because they say no means no, but that's not what your actions say.
Actions need to match words.
Yeah.
And women say it all the time. Because if I say, oh, I'm a faithful man, I'm going to provide for you, and those actions don't align with that, you don't believe the words. So it goes both ways. Like, women, if we're going out, we're drinking, you understand the one thing leads to another. We've all seen Jerry Seinfeld. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us have. Well, it came on Netflix, now a lot of people caught up. But one thing leads to another. Yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? And so we all understand that we're all adults. So, have some accountability. But this is the problem across the board when it comes to women. Not all women. I don't want people to think I'm talking about all women when I'm talking about, today.
They always do.
I know.
So
it's pointless,
yeah.
Right? Not all women. Well, I said it for you. Not all women.
They won't hear that part.
And in the same vein, though, because I do feel like this. I mean, obviously, this conversation was about women in the bear, right? But in the same vein, men obviously have to take accountability also for protecting themselves, making sure that they're not putting themselves in bad positions, making sure that they're vetting these women. Stop taking random women home. Go out of your way to make sure that this is somebody that you're actually interested in. Ask her some questions, even when you're out, like you're partying and drinking, right? Whatever the case may be, find out what she values. Ask her little questions, hey, listen, I saw this. Make something up. I saw this question on TikTok. Would you rather have a man that makes $100,000 and he's you know, he's a little bit chubbier? Would you rather have a man who's very in shape and he's very handsome, but he doesn't make 100,000? Depending on how that woman answers, may tell you something about this woman, right? Like, we as men, we have to do better with vetting women and asking questions. But if we're so focused on, of course, going after just women and just getting the, you know what I mean, getting the box, then yeah, you're not going to see all these other things, right? When you're tunnel vision and you're only looking for one thing, you miss everything else around you, right? It's like saying, you know, you can't see the forest through the trees. It's just like, you have to be able to take a step back and look at this person holistically, and then also understand that the more attractive she is, there's a reason that she's probably single, right? Just because she's bad and she got an ass doesn't mean that that's someone you need to go after, even just for sex. There's a reason that she's probably single. So, and you find this out by having conversation, by communicating and asking open-ended questions. And when you do that, you get them to start talking, and then you actively begin to listen. Not listening to then actively or to respond or react to what she's saying, but listen for understanding. And when you do that, my guys, then you can start to figure out the type of woman that you have in front of you. And this is something that we don't do very well in general. And a lot of times why we can get ourselves caught up in these situations, because we're going after one thing and a woman is coming after something completely different. We're playing two different games.
Agreed.
Men. Remember fairy tale.
You got to,
Yeah, let's do no fairy tale. Men.
you know, I just got to
That's
come with
so
something for the
random,
guys,
no.
man, because, you know what I mean?
No, because this is the Father's Day. Is this like?
It's, bro, you know, the funny thing is, I don't even know what day it is. It's coming up.
Yeah, it's some. I only know because I was doing something on Amazon, and it says
Oh, of course.
it says ships before Father's Day, and I was just like,
Is this Sunday? Next Sunday?
I ain't
Bro,
know that.
Father's Day is so underwhelming. I don't even know what day it is.
I don't know, and I don't care.
I mean, it's Sunday, June 16th.
June 16th.
Yeah.
Is there? Do you care about that day? Because you know Chris doesn't care about that.
I mean,
Is that? Do you like plan to get anything?
no.
get anything for
It's
what?
bad.
Nothing.
For myself?
No.
For my father?
Well, no. I'm talking like as far as like other people celebrating for you.
Yeah,
Bro,
somebody's gonna
I've
celebrate it
never.
for him.
I don't think I've never got anything for Father's Day.
You will this year.
Probably, yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I
shout
will.
out.
I will this year. I will this year. My baby take care of me. You know what I'm saying? I got a good woman.
Got a cheat,
You're not
Right?
you
gonna
got
be
a cheat code.
able. You're
That's
not
what
gonna
you
be able to
got.
say that no more.
Wait,
You're
why do I got
losing your right to say it after this year.
why do I got a
guarantee.
cheat code?
Huh?
Why do I have a cheat code?
Nigga, you know why you got a cheat code.
You know why? You know why I have the woman that I have? Because of the things that I've been saying to men the last 2 weeks. Like I asked that girl questions. Like I got to know her like deeply. And I wasn't looking at just the physical aspect. It was just like, let me get past this. And then I started to find out some things and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I could see why this is this. And, you know, well, okay, well, this is why you're single, right? And then I asked myself, like, well, can I get over this? Is this something that I can deal with, right? Looking at what is my intention with her. Am I looking to just smash or am I looking to have a relationship? If I'm looking to just smash, then these things don't matter. If I'm looking to have a relationship, these things do, right? Like all these things matter. And the reason that she liked me, which I'm still figuring out. No, I'm not still figuring out. That's, you know what I mean? But the reason that she liked me was because she saw that I was a man, that I was actively looking to help other people, that I can actually say, I'm sorry, that I can actually tuck my ego away and be like, you know what? You were right. Right. I was taking accountability. These are things that are very attractive to women, right? Not just your finances, not just your physical, not just muscles. All these things are attractive to women. And if you don't utilize these things or these tools that you have, like, you're going to struggle getting women of value, right? And a woman of value has nothing to do with her resources. It is her femininity, her ability to nurture, right? Her ability to speak life into you as a man. Does she support you? Those are things that are valuable in a woman. And yet a lot of men today, like, we're looking at women like, oh, does she got an ass? Like, bro, does that even matter? Is it gonna matter in 20 years?
I mean,
Yeah.
she got ass though. I mean, come on, you can't have no back butt.
Don't get me. No, I'm not saying that.
What we
No,
doing?
no, I
that's
didn't
kinda
say
what
that.
You alluded to.
I didn't say that.
You gotta have somebody.
Yeah,
You gotta
No,
do
I didn't.
something
I
back
didn't
there.
say. No, come on, man. Like, no. I mean, that's just like. That's like saying a woman is okay with
clarification.
3 inches. Like, no. I mean, that's not.
Now we're
I
not
mean,
about to.
hold
What we're
on.
not about to do.
Hold on, what we doing? Because sometimes
there's a
it's
whole-
about
I'm
emotion in the ocean.
There's a whole culture of men. You just.
Yeah, I mean,
you
you just
You're not about to
you
do
just
that now.
you just obliterated a whole continent out
No,
there.
that's not what I'm saying. I didn't say a back butt or negative ass. I'm talking about the dudes that are like, that thing gotta be dumb, right? This is the mindset that gets women to then go get BBLs because they feel like they're worthless if they don't have a dump truck.
Okay, I got a question then. Would you date a woman? Well, okay. Would you prefer a woman? Both of these women are perfectly sane and all that stuff.
Okay.
One has a back butt, and the other one got a little something back there.
I want the one with something.
I ain't there, so don't say it don't matter because it matter at
It
the end of the day.
matters.
No. Hold
booties matter.
Hold on a second. No, let me be very
Little
clear
booties
because you took what I said in a different direction. I did not say she had a back butt or she had a flat ass. I'm talking. I mean, there is nothing wrong with a regular ass. Most women have regular butts. That's
What's
absolutely
wrong with a regular butt?
That's what I'm. And there's
a
nothing.
regular butt is. I mean,
Right, you have, but you have. If you go out in the world and touch grass, you will see most women have regular bodies.
depends on what continent we're talking about.
Regular based upon their continent. Right, okay.
I mean,
if
because some more
you're in
than
Africa
others.
or if you're in Colombia, right, you're gonna see a different body type based upon the way they eat, the way that their culture is, how they dance. It's going to cultivate a certain type of body.
in
right?
Asia or like more Asian countries, they don't really have like.
No, they don't. Right? And like it is what it is, right? I'm not but the same way that women don't actively look for a man with a small penis, men are not going to actively look for a woman with a back butt. They're not going to look for that.
There could be some men
No.
out there who don't like all of the wobble. There's some men out
Stop
there.
taking it extreme. I didn't say all the wobble, not
just-
all this and not all this.
There's some white dudes that I read too. It's like I don't like all that. They prefer like no back. Nope. They prefer. The back butt.
No. We're talking. I'm being very specific. The back butt is something very specific. I don't think. Maybe there are men that prefer it, and when I say maybe there are men, I'm talking about 1%.
Yeah.
Right. That's that. Right now, when you're talking about the most biggest gigantic ass, like where it's just like, bro, this is just ridiculous. I don't prefer that.
Yeah.
I don't want all of that.
Man, I seen this chick last night. She's like my new crush. I'm show you a picture.
Just out and up. Okay. Well, and let me.
She's like a famous person.
And I'm not talking. Please don't, because I know how the internet is. I'm not.
I mean,
talking,
the internet's going to
They
take
gonna
it the
do what
wrong
they
way.
fuck
There's
they do.
nothing
I'm not
you
like.
can
I'm
do
not
about
talking
that.
about. I'm not saying I don't like ass. I'm talking about the most extreme versions of these situations. Okay. This is. Oh, you just saw her online.
Well, there was someone that I followed that they commented on her or whatever,
Oh, and it popped up.
and
for
it
you.
popped up on my feed, and I was just like, "Yo, who is this?"
Yeah,
chick?
like, but like, even a woman like that, that's not average. That's not normal. That is above average. Like, men like regular women.
I love a regular girl.
But the internet has created this space where women, and whether they say we do it for ourselves, that's absolutely bullshit, and men
False.
don't believe that. We understand you don't.
They say that, but they don't mean it.
Right, and we get it, right? Can we just move past that? Like, you do it because you want to either get male attention, or you're doing it because you see other women doing it and you see the attention they're getting.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, well, I want to have what she has, right? Women do what other women do. It's the same thing as the Me Too movement. We see it all over society. It's not a dig to women. It is what it is. Men are typically more leaders. Women are typically more followers. That's just naturally how we are. Women don't particularly enjoy leading.
Yeah.
This is why when you're like, baby, what do you want to eat? She's like, I don't know, whatever you want to eat. There's a reason that men all experience that same thing. Women don't want to do that. They would rather have their man be like, "Hey, baby, we're going to this vegan spot, or I'm going to cook for you. We're going to this raw joint." Da da da. And she may be like, "Oh, what do they have? Do they have what I like? Oh yeah, I've already looked up the menu. I already know what you like. Boom, boom, boom. They got it." Women like that way more than having to go out and look up the menu themselves and having to make decisions. And I'm not talking about being single, because when you're single, you don't have no choice. But I'm talking about when they're in a relationship. The one thing my girlfriend loves more than anything else is that she loves, and I saw this online, but she loves when she has the ability to she turns off her brain, she says. Like, and when she said that, I was like, "Oh, I saw that online." But she was like, that's really what happens. Like, obviously she's not dumb. She's
Turning
not
off the brain is like
she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to make decisions.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to worry. She's not concerned of her safety. She feels like she is good.
she good money.
Right? She can get in the car. She knows where I'm going to take her, it's going to be somewhere healthy. Right? She knows that the kids are taken care of. Like, she knows she doesn't have to be concerned, and that's a flex.
That's what women say that they want so that they can be feminine, right? When women talk about, well, if he would be masculine, if he would be a boss, he would be this, I could be feminine then, which I understand the sentiment, especially because of what your girlfriend told you. However, you have to be feminine before a man provides.
Is going to do all
you.
that.
So you can't wait until he does that and then you become feminine. No, you have to be it before, and then you get it as a result of.
It actually helps. She has made me so much more confident just by being feminine, by putting her trust in me.
Yeah.
It makes me step up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when I don't want to go to the gym or something, I'm like, "Nah, I gotta go to the gym, man. Someone might try to attack my girl one day." Like, I'm serious. Just little things. That's not like my motivation, but these are things that I think about.
I mean, we all, man, we understand. Neo said it best. I'm a movement by myself, but we're a force when we're together. That's literally what it is. It's not like niggas can't do nothing without a woman, but a woman helps to. A woman, you could take a man, a very capable man, and you could take him to his peak. A woman will get him to go beyond his restrictions.
Beyond, like never before.
Whatever that
He didn't
glass
say that.
is.
It didn't go that way.
I just made it. Oh my god! I knew you were gonna do that.
What he actually said.
Here we
was, and this is to go even further beyond.
That's what a woman does.
Yeah.
She has that power, which
So-
is the power I talked about earlier.
Do you think, okay, for you all, when you're in a relationship, or if you're with your significant other, is it important for them to stroke your ego?
My ego is telling me no. Okay,
But my body.
but the truth is
Nigga, you better stroke my ego.
is yes.
My ego. You better stroke my ego. Yeah, I mean, you better tell me I'm the best, I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? All that. Whatever.
I know, I do, but I'm telling
it ain't
I'm telling
gotta
you
be.
the emotions I just went through. I just expressed it. My ego is telling me no. Nah, man. You know what I mean? You do this on your own. You're self-reliant. You're self-sufficient. You're happy on your own. Da 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 da. Right? My ego is telling me these things, but then after I sat for a second and said, "Man, shut your ass up. What's the truth?" Right? The truth is yes.
I mean, it feels good.
I want her to tell me that I do great. Right? She sent me a message about my newsletter and she was like, "These are fire." Like, she reads every single one of them. Like, that makes me feel good.
Affirmations, baby.
It's the truth. So yes, I do. And a woman who is truly like in love with her man, that cares about her man, will do these things. She will give him all this stuff because she knows that when she raises him up, she raises herself up as well. So yes, that's my answer, Chris.
No.
That's the answer. Okay.
You want to expound or?
No.
All right. Did you have anything or no?
No.
You good? All righty.
All right.
Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the Application Knowledge Podcast.
Shit, they're gonna eat us up for this one.
We will see you
They're
beautiful.
gonna eat Chris up.
I don't care. See the thing.
Here we go.
The beautiful thing about it is I don't read the comments. I can say whatever I want. I don't care. The people that comment don't know me. They're not on my level in any way.
Which is funny because the video.
You're talking about the hate.
I'm talking about the haters.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the haters. I'm not talking about the people that watch us every day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that when Mel makes these clips.
It's the reels.
The clips
reels.
where he did. Because look, at the end of the day, they're taking what I'm saying out of context no matter what. It's a clip. There's no way, like, you can't have the full context. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it isn't something I specifically said that's going to add the context, you might have said something prior to me saying what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That adds context to why I'm saying what I'm saying. And they don't care enough to even go in and look at that. So why do I care what they say? Shoot. I got my own trolls to worry about popping up on my channel.
That's
you know what I'm
true.
saying?
I feel you.
Pick my battles.
This week I was ready. I was with all the smoke. I've been pissed though, but I was just like, yo, I'm about to like whoever want it, let's go.
Hey, pop you a
Come
zero.
to me.
Mel, pop you a zero in and get in them comments, man.
Man, I ain't gotta pop the zero in to do it. I'll wake up to it. Like, what's good? Like, what's good? Now, I was like, yo, we can meet up. Nigga, let's.
Wow.
I mean, that's how I be thinking. Like, man,
Yeah, it's not that
We can meet up and let's go. Because y'all cats, like, a lot of cats, they get all gangsta on the internet, but in real person, they nut up.
Yeah.
Niggas don't talk big in real life.
Damn.
Niggas get gangsta online. They do. They get gangsta online, but they ain't about that. Niggas won't talk that shit in real life. They won't.
Well, that's the thing about a coward. See, a real man,
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
a real man's not gonna get online and talk all of that stuff anyway. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, the funny thing is, the video wasn't even about me that I'm commenting on. It's literally just Chris. But I'm just like, yo, y'all niggas stupid. Y'all don't read nothing. I said, ha, blah, blah, blah. But it is what it is. Appreciate y'all rocking out.
Appreciate y'all.
I am Animated Male, Chris James, Stephen Michael.
Say my name right. Say it again.
Nigga, I ain't your girl. Nigga, I say your name how I
Wow,
want.
what are we doing?
I'll see you beautiful people next time. You all take care. Bye-bye.